Good morning, Joel.
Hey man, so I went through and I've got phone numbers. The only problem is with electrical, I am finding that electricians have to physically take a look at the scope of work versus going off experience because they don't want to bid it. So I've sent two of those out for two different people to be able to get me information back. That one bids on the 27th. So that one's tomorrow. So that one I've told them I need it like in hours. So okay, so I've set that fire. So the one in the garage doors, I've got, because that's Oregon. They are they're like 7 o'clock in the morning and nobody's available till 8 o'clock on the two phone calls I made yesterday. Then I have the roof in Louisiana. I got a guy last night on his cell phone walking his dog, and I'm waiting for a phone call back this morning because I've already called him and left a message. And then I've got the unicorn is the cave, is the handrails. Because, and I'm wondering how you would do this, because I had a very long conversation with a guy who will not bid the job because of its narrow paths, extreme heights, bats in the air. The environmentalists want work done, but they don't want it to look like any work got done. You'd have to probably use a very narrow side by side to get out there. There's no power, there's no water. Some of the holes have to be dug for a 2-foot post, have to be dug 4 foot because you're talking rock. So you're talking core drilling and also rotohammer, big rotohammer, generators to be pulled. I mean, it's extreme. And he said he wouldn't even bid it because they are Redmond is the closest town, and that town is about 60 to 75 miles away, depending on how
Okay,
you go to this place.
then just take this job and set it aside and then track it and see how much it went for and who got the job.
How would one do that? Because this is you were popping out with like 100,000. I'm thinking a quarter million because it's a unicorn. It needs like it's the worst possible conditions.
Then just set it
Yeah.
aside. You've got the solicitation number. A
Yes.
week after the job's due, call the contracting officer and say, hey, did you guys get enough bids? And just start there. And then she'll either say yes or no. And then call a month later and say, I want to know what the status of the review of this solicitation is. Has it been awarded? Yes or no? If that job gets awarded, you want to know who got it and how much it went for.
Got it. How much?
And then the next time you see a job like this, you'll be able to compare.
Okay. So this is not one that I should even.
Yeah, fuck it. Move on. There's 1,000
It's not
jobs
worth
in
it.
Bid Tracker right now. There's 1,000 of them. So yeah, just
Okay.
move on. Don't lose any sleep over it. But track
Okay.
it so you learn.
But track that one. Okay. Okay. Because then I'll have the scope of work and the whole 9 yards, and it's like here at least this is what they did. He's like, there's nobody. He says if anybody does this, they're crazy to do this because it's not going to be an easy project at all.
Okay. Certainly you don't
So
want to get involved in that as your first federal contract. So let's move on.
no, yeah, let's move on. So I am working on 3 others then. I set down the bags of cement and sand and asphalt repair because that's not going to teach me anything. So I'm waiting on a roof to call me back. I've got 2
Okay.
electrical
So
and
the best thing that you can do
Uh-huh.
at this point is write down my cell phone number because you're calling me in Telegram, which I have no problem with. I encourage you calling me in Telegram because it tracks over time and we can, there's lots of advantages to that. But in
Right.
this particular teaching moment, what I want you to do is get whoever it is you want to talk to on the phone and then conference call me in on my cell phone number. You know how you can
Dude,
add a
I don't
call?
even know how to do that. I've
Okay.
never conference called anybody.
What kind of phone do you have?
Uh, Android.
Okay. So I want you to go to youtube.com
Okay.
and I want you to put in the search bar how to conference call on an Android. And then I want you
Oh,
to watch 2 videos that explain how to conference call on an Android.
okay.
And then go ahead and try it. Call your wife and then conference call me in. Or call your buddy and conference call me in and test it. And then you know exactly how to do it. Then when you get your phone call with um, your whoever you want me to talk to, just conference call me in.
You know what? Yesterday's phone call with you changed something with me yesterday because oh yeah, no, it's okay. It's like a newbie. That's what I felt like. Not a business owner for 26 years. Because it's like, hey, I don't know how to do this. No, I know how to do everything. I just need you to tell me how much it's going to cost. I hung up on 3 people today in Florida because I don't have time for this. I've got a project due tomorrow. And I just hung up on them mid conversation. I'm like, this is not getting anywhere. So I am feeling a whole different energy as of yesterday's conversation with you. Not an angry conversation, more of just a reality conversation.
Okay, so what do we learn here?
What do we learn here? Light the fucking fire. I just need a price. Send me a price. I need to go off your experience. I don't need you to sit there and nitpick numbers. I just need you to tell me: is it $1 million? Is it 500,000? Or is it $1? I'm
Well,
just going on. I just need a number because I don't have the job yet, and I don't want to waste your time.
I teach that in the workshop when I talk about the sewer mound job.
I
So
know.
so let me just revisit that for a second so to kind of drive this point home.
Because I remember with the sewer mound, you still to date don't even know what a sewer mound is.
I don't care what a sewer mound is. Never
See,
never
there it
have.
is.
Okay?
There it is.
But here's what happened in real life. They call By the way, this is actually kind of hilarious cuz I forgot about this till just now. Whenever you hear me say, "I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting your call. Can I call you back in
Yep,
24 to 48 hours?" That
I use
sent
that now.
that
I use that
sentence
term.
that sentence was developed in real time on my boat on a Friday afternoon. We were out there drinking and I'm sure I was inebriated.
Yep,
I get a phone call from a contracting officer and she wants to talk to me about solicitation W9OQ, numbers, right? And
yep.
and I'm okay. And she says, I want to talk to you about this job. And I said, I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting your call. Can I call you back in 24 to 48 hours? And she goes, sure. And she hung up. And I thought, Jesus Christ, I got to remember that. That worked really well.
Yep.
That's how that was developed. But regardless, the next day, I needed to find out one thing and one thing only. Do I have a winner or do I have a loser? That's all I care about right now.
Right.
I bid that job for $99,800. Is it a winner or a loser? The only way I'm going to find out is if I talk to somebody who knows how to do that work. So I looked up on Google. This job was in the middle of Oklahoma somewhere. And I looked up on Google, I looked up a septic system company because sewer mound sounded septic to me. That's
Right.
okay. So what I'm thinking is that when I call the septic system guy and ask him, hey, who in town does sewer mounds, that he's going to say, oh, that's Joe down the street. That's what I was thinking was going to happen. But when I called him, he goes, oh, yeah, I do sewer mounds. And I'm like, fucking all the brain chemistry in my brain just started lighting up. Oh, yeah, I'm talking to the guy.
Right.
And now I'm like, I got these 2 sewer mounds. I need to know, are they $10,000 apiece? Are they $50,000 apiece? How much are these? I want to know, because what do I want to know?
If you walk away from the job or not.
I want to know if I have a winner or a loser on my hands.
Right.
That's it, a winner or a loser.
Yep.
And he says, I have to go look at it.
Yep.
And
there it is.
Oh, shit. The job was like an hour away from him. And when you looked on Google Maps back in those days, it was pixelated where he was going. The job site was pixelated.
Oh,
it was so remote that there was no clear images. I mean, you could see that there was something there, but that's about it. And there was no cell phone coverage out there. So he had to drive all the way out there. He spent an hour out there and drive all the way back. So it was 3 hours later. And he said, Sean, I can do the whole thing for... Oh, he said, Sean, I went out there and they don't need 2 sewer mounds. They need 3 sewer mounds. I can do all 3 for, I think he said 39,000. Well, when he said 39,000, I instantly put in my head, Jesus Christ, these things must be about $10,000 a piece.
Right.
I said, wow, 39,000. My budget was like 20,000, like $10,000 a piece for the 2. So I mean, if there's going to be 3, I guess my budget would be 30,000. Can you do it for 30,000? And he goes, yeah, no problem. I'm sitting in my head going, motherfucker, I just made $70,000. That's a winner.
That's a winner. Yep.
So I got off the phone with him, called the contracting officer. I'm sorry I couldn't take your call yesterday. We accept. So I always say begin with the end in mind.
Right.
Do you have a winner or a loser? I cold bid that thing. I guessed. I just guessed.
Right. Okay, so on that, I have, so I got, okay, that's my challenge, because me waiting on contractors, because that's what I keep getting, is people like me that they're used to going and looking at.
If I don't hear back from you, by when should I be calling you back?
Right, and that was my call with Louisiana.
Are you employing that or deploying that? Good.
Yep. I am now, because I didn't see it before. It's like, hey, I've got, like, okay, well, when is this due? I said, I have to get it in tomorrow. So it's due, I need it from you guys today. I just don't need a dialed in. I need a best guess for this. That's what I need.
Yeah, and I'll take it as a verbal. I don't even need it in writing.
And I said, I don't want to waste your time with the proposals and all the emails. I just need a verbal price of how much to do this scope of work I sent you. That's it.
That if I called you 90 days from today and said, hey, man, we got the job, that we'd be close enough to negotiate something that makes sense for both of us. You're missing critical elements.
But that's what I'm waiting to actually, because I can't get past the, well, just send us this and we can take a look at it with sales, because they're in meetings right now.
Okay, who specifically? Who is the guy in sales that needs to be talked to? What's his name?
Yeah, see, that's where, how do you get that?
That's what I say. When somebody says it's somebody else, okay? Who specifically? What's his email address? You got to take it to the next level. Joel.
Because I keep getting the gatekeepers. That's as far as I've gotten.
Okay, and so the gatekeeper says, "Oh, so and so's not available." Okay, so listen, what's your name? Oh, Sarah. Okay, Sarah. So I just want to understand this. What you're telling me is that so and so's not available, and you don't have the authority to break through over a job that's due in a few hours. And basically, what you're telling me is that I can go shop this across the street to your competition, and you have the authority to send me that way.
That's the phone call. That's yeah. I have to mainline Sean when it comes to that.
And I've had the Sarah say, "Yep, I have that authority," and I go, "Okay, great. If I ever do talk to so and so, I'm gonna let him know you told me to go shop the competition. Have a great day." And just listen to her go, but.
Yep. Click.
Okay. I have always relied on my ability to outthink the person that I'm talking to.
Right.
Okay. And I don't know if it's a superpower. I don't know if it can be learned, but it's something that I have always consistently deployed, and it's become a script to me. It's something I've memorized. It's like, think about fracking when they're going down and trying to burst open areas to find more oil. Okay, it goes down
Right.
this crack, it goes down this crack, it goes down this crack, but we're all trying to get down whatever that path is to the oil. Okay, i'm I'm consistently and constantly deploying my thoughts into a situation to get to the person to get to the oil.
Because the ground, the nice soft dirt on top is the gatekeeper. You want the hard crack somewhere with oil in it.
I got to get through every
Yep.
single path to get to the person
Yep.
I need to talk to, or make sure she understands that it's going to be her fucking fault that the other company across the street gets the job. It's your fault, Sarah, and I'm going to make sure everybody knows.
Yep.
Or you could just let me talk to Joe.
Yep. Because that's all I need to do. Okay. Well,
In today's world, I wouldn't be against at that point in the conversation saying, and I just want you to know I'm recording this because I'm also a journalist and I'll be posting this on one of my blogs notifying people that your company doesn't allow access to the people who know how to do work, and specifically you're the gatekeeper that's keeping business from flourishing at your business, and I'm going to make sure that that's published.
yeah, that's definitely the new version of the same thing. Yeah.
It sure is,
Absolutely.
and that's perfectly legal to not only record that and publish it. And if you don't believe me, go to justinledford.net where I did it.
Oh, you actually did this, didn't you?
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Everything I ever talked to people about, I've done. I went on
Yeah.
there and blasted some guy who stole my shit, and it's been up now for probably 3 or 4 years. And in it, I dared any attorney to come after me for defamation.
Nice. Okay. Nice.
I have a big note on there to all attorneys. This is First Amendment protected speech.
Yep. Nice.
I am
Well,
reporting on a story of public interest.
so that's my challenge is I got one guy in sales and I got another gatekeeper in Key West in Florida. That's that's as far as I got because they were in meetings. And I hung up on two others that, well, they're in meetings right now. It's like, well, I just need a price to do this. Well, if you can email it to us, I can eventually. I don't have eventually time. I need to get this now because this has got a timer on it. And I actually hung up mid conversation. She kept well. I'm like, I'm not going to get anywhere. So
Well,
I just need to move
look,
on.
you need to practice my scripts some more.
Yeah,
Which
no,
is part of the reason I wanted to, wanted you to get me in on a conference call so you could hear me live how I handle these things. But maybe in this conversation, which by the way is being recorded, and I'm happy to pop it into the Telegram if you want to listen to it back. But
How do you? Here's the other one on this Oregon one that's coming up in like 40 minutes that I can call her. You've got the closest is Redmond, Washington, Redmond, Oregon. The physical address is out in the middle. It's a 2 hour one way to get there.
mm-hmm.
How do you get somebody to, well, that's just too far? I got another one I called before this guy was, well, we only have 3 techs and we're that's just doesn't make any sense. And then the other one is, well, we don't do federal jobs with an Indian accent, and he hung up on me. So this is where here's all this information. Here's a federal job. I just need a price. But people are like, well, that takes 3 guys. That guy's like, well, why don't we just take 3 guys, do each door, and just bang it out so it's not one guy doing 4 hours each day for 3 doors.
I don't blame you for thinking that way. So let's look at that as a possibility.
But how do you get somebody who's a business owner working a certain market to go 60 miles out of that market to do this into the freaking woods?
Money motivates people.
Not everybody, apparently. But see, then
That's
I'm not
that's
talking to the right
not
person.
that's and you remember, man, I make such a big deal about this in the workshop.
But it doesn't motivate. It does not. I'm finding that it does not. I can tell that I'm talking to an owner or a worker based on who's motivated for money and who's not.
Listen to
And
me
I guarantee you,
carefully.
I talked to a worker
I
last
used
night.
the conversation that you and I are having. I used to
Mm-hmm.
have these conversations with people live in their office. In the beginning of GCExperts, for $1,000 a day, I would come into your office plus expenses, and we would do all this stuff together live. Not willing to do that anymore,
Right.
but I learned a lot in how to deal with people in different business scenarios. And one day I'm at Bill Westel's, I can't remember if it was his home or office because I worked with him at both, but he wanted to bid this maintenance contract at an Air Force base in Nevada. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it was a traffic light signal maintenance contract for, I want to say, 2 or 3 years. So what was interesting about it was that my wife at the time was a bookkeeper at a traffic light signal maintenance company here in Austin.
Yeah.
So I was somewhat familiar with how that business works just from all the conversations I had had with her.
Right.
And so I called the local traffic light signal maintenance company up there, and I'm telling him, hey, my wife works at a company similar to yours, and I'm just hobnobbing with him for just a minute or so.
Right.
And I said, listen, I'd like to talk to you about this traffic light signal maintenance contract that's happening over at this Air Force base, Fallon, Nevada. And he says, oh no, we don't do government work. Do you remember what my response to him was? It's okay if you don't, but I'm going to tell you right now, and I want you to remember it forever.
I recall this one.
I said to him, hey, can you tell me who in your company is money motivated?
Yeah, that I remember. Yes.
Okay. And if you could have seen the look on my face when he said, oh, that's Joe. I'm like, motherfucker, you are the biggest idiot in the history of idiots. You just told somebody essentially that you are not money motivated. Like, what the fuck? Like, now I said, can you transfer me to Joe? Transfers me to Joe. Hey, Joe, I'd like to talk to you about this traffic light signal maintenance guy. Oh, wow, that's great. That sounds awesome. Can you send it over? I'd love to take a look. I mean, it was completely different.
Yeah.
That is a hell of a lesson. Now, I didn't say, hey, you got a dumbass working for you that's not money motivated. But by the way, Joe put the deal together. Joe and Bill went and they got that contract.
Yeah. See. Okay. So who is money motivated? Who can I talk to that's money motivated?
I mean, you can come up with your own way of saying that, but that's what I said in the moment. That's just Sean recognizing a situation. Motherfucker, I'm talking to somebody who doesn't care about money.
Yep. And that's what I've that's what I've heard recently, because it's like, well, I'm going to get a paycheck anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
That's right.
Versus here's the owner is, we need to generate the money so I can keep the doors open.
Hey, I don't care if it was just the next guy in line. I don't care if it's the owner or not. I just want to talk to somebody else. But I want to make you look like an idiot while I'm doing it because that's just fun for me.
Yep, absolutely. So that's okay.
And
so
I get the story.
Yeah, I just got to get past. I got to get past the. I got to get past the gatekeepers, because that's what I get with electricians. I don't get many. I try to go with the smaller companies, the less corporate looking ones, because those are the guys who I can actually talk to versus the corporate, which is all these layers, and you're never going to get anybody. Or at least that's what I keep running into. So I'm trying to filter that out also as I get each of these jobs I'm looking at. But I'm finding that electrical, they will not just cold. They're like, hey, we need to look at it because there's so many moving parts to it. Versus, here's a tube of caulking that you apply. It's going to take an hour. Versus, here's this big ass panel, and here's this, and here's this. Is it stainless? Is it this? All these moving parts to where it's like that fluctuates the price. But past that, it's like I just give me a ballpark, and I can't ever do that because they're so OCD when it comes to the work that they do, and that seems to be consistent across the nation.
Then you look, anytime you're afraid of something, afraid of not getting the answer that I want, you lay that fear right out on the table. One of my biggest fears is I'm going to call you, explain this whole job to you, and make it so easy for you to just give me a number because I'm going to tell you up front that I'm not even going to hold you accountable to the number. I'm just looking for your experience off the cuff that if I called you 90 days from today and said, hey man, we got the job, and that we'd be close enough to negotiate something that makes sense for both of us, that even after all that, you're still not going to give me a number. That's my fear.
Okay. That's what I need to be adding in, and I'm not doing that.
Any chance that you can just throw a number out? I mean, just pretend for a second that we're best friends and we're just talking about a job that you have knowledge on. What would that number be? What would make you cautious? What would make you increase your number? What would you be afraid of?
So make it emotional.
Maybe. I mean,
yeah. Okay.
So here, emotional is an interesting word, and because you said that, it made me think of something that I do naturally, but it can be learned. It turns out that just people, the more emotional they get, the faster they will make a decision. Now,
oh yeah.
Now let me explain what I mean by that, because I'm not saying they're going to make a decision in your favor. I'm just saying they're going to make a decision. So let's just take this to the extreme. Your wife is in a car accident. She's star-flighted to the hospital, and you have to make decisions on what needs to be done next. Whether you are right or wrong, how fast are you going to make decisions?
Well, dude, here while we're actually talking, I just got I apparently I talked to an owner in Florida. I just got an email back on that electrical project.
Mm-hmm.
His response is before we get further, this is my current insurance, and I do not have workman's comp, as I am exempt from workman's comp as the owner of the company. You guys are going to want more insurance. I will add it to my estimate. Please advise ASAP if you want this back today. So I can even, and I sent
Alexa,
this out
stop.
like hour ago to him. So I'm already getting a response back.
That's great.
So that's the first with electrical. Usually it's days, but I told him I got to have it today because I got to get it out tomorrow morning. So it's me just pushing. It's not accepting. Well is not an answer. I got to talk to the owner.
Okay, so my point being that if you can get somebody on some sort of an emotional level, they'll make a decision faster. Okay?
Right.
And I just do that naturally.
Not fear emotion, but more here's a win-win emotion.
Sometimes it's fear of missing out. Sometimes it's fear of retribution. Hey, I might publish this in a story about, AAA Electrical and Shannon, who's sitting there stopping everybody from getting what they need in order to move forward.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, yeah, absolutely. Because that's where I've reached. I mean, I heard this morning one of the gatekeepers I basically hung up on was I heard the New York accent come out when it's like, well, she's used to getting her way with everybody who calls because everybody calls her. I'm like, well, I just need to talk to them. Well, they're in meetings. I said, when will they be out of the meetings?
Okay, that's right where you messed up. Who
Oh,
is
I'm
in a
asking.
meeting? Who specifically is in a meeting? Who's the guy that knows everything there is to know about whatever it was, overhead door? Who's that guy? What's his name?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Nope. I'm hearing a whole different conversation that I need to have. Yeah. Who's that guy?
Does he have a public email address? If I want to send him over the plans and specs right now while we're on the phone, who would I email that to? And then while you're doing that, Google him and see if he has an email address. Google Joe Shepard AAA Doors and see, and then also put email address and see if it pops up. And then read it when she gives you her email address. Go, wait a second. It looks like his email address might be joe.shepard@AAAdoors.com. Is that
Right.
his email? Or if she gives you her name's Shannon and her email address is s.shepard at AAA
Yeah.
Doors. Now you
Yep.
know how they use their email address. So if that guy's name is Joe Rodriguez at AAA, you can just interpret that what his email address will be.
Yeah. No, I'm hearing all your training coming back, and it's just been right there.
Look, you
It's
can't
just
learn
after.
this shit overnight, but you can
No.
get better at it over time.
Right. Right. And that's what I need to do. That's what I need to be doing. It's just
Well, then
I'm
I
just
think the purpose of this phone call is, gone really well. To educate you more on how to handle these phone calls live to get what you want, because that's the whole thing. Is it's a whole bunch of next steps. And if you get stuck on a step and not sure what to do, pick up the phone and call me and let's talk. I'll give you lots of ideas.
because I actually feel like the conversations are going better, more direct. beating is like, hey, I just need, this is all I need. I need to talk to somebody who's money motivated. That's what I, so
No,
I'm
no,
getting
no. Not I need to talk to somebody who's money motivated. The
who's
question
money
is,
motivated.
who in your company is money motivated?
Yeah. Not, I need to, yeah,
It's
no, I
it's
got to take,
who. I want to
I have to
know
get,
who. The name.
yeah,
What's his email address? Is he available? Can is that a person that you can just transfer me over to? Can you put me on hold and ask him if he can take a call?
yeah, there's, yeah, yeah, no, this is, I feel like I was in a brain fog. That's the problem. And sometimes this is just, unfortunately, not going to be the last time, but it's just, I just got to change how I'm doing this. That's the difference.
All this shit I developed because the guy who needed the money in the company was my dad. And he was coming in every day, and there's only so many excuses you can give to the greatest federal contractor that ever existed before you start really developing techniques to get shit done.
Right,
And I'm a quick learner, and I don't like looking like an idiot.
right. Yeah, that's, yep, yeah.
On the other hand, we made a fuck ton of money.
That, see, there's the other part of it too. Did you, okay, so let me ask you a question. This is off of a movie. Did you make fuck me money or fuck you money or fuck me money?
I I've always said that what's the advantage of making all this fuck you money if you don't get to use it to fuck somebody every once in a while?
Yeah,
And I have certainly done that. I got in an argument with one guy one time, and I said, "You can move forward in this however you want, but I assure you that my war chest is way larger than yours."
right. And just the term war chest is a whole different term.
Well,
That's not,
I
that's,
took a snapshot of my cryptocurrency account, and I said, "I'm willing to sell all of this to fuck you over."
oh, yep. And this is why we will get along very long term. Very, very long term. So, yep, done, done deal. So I'm taking on a different. I think that's what I needed. I think I just needed this today.
Yeah, man.
I think I've got the phone calls. It's just being able to say, hey, here, I made phone calls yesterday. And with the advantage of using you as a third party, is my boss is in Texas. He doesn't have time to do this. He's got me doing this. I need to know if you can help us get this or not. Are you that person or no? That's how I got a call with Louisiana. I'm still waiting for a call back, but yeah.
That's fine, but I feel like the tonality is a little too aggressive. Um, I don't speak in terms of or not. Okay, and the reason
Okay.
I don't is because some people hear that and they go, "Well, then I'm gonna pick not." Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm always trying to say, hey, I want to be the easiest phone call that you have all day. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm not sure if you're the right guy or not, but I'd like to at least talk to you and explore this opportunity.
So
And
you're saying the same thing, just different way of getting there.
just a friendlier way. I'm looking out for you. I don't want to
Yep.
waste your time. Now, I can use or not this way. Am I talking to the right guy? See, I didn't have to add or not. I could just ask him, based on everything I just said, am I talking to the right guy? Or should I be talking to somebody else in your company?
Right. See, I think with me getting off the phone so late yesterday, all of a sudden it was like ending day in Oregon. Louisiana was already 6 o'clock, so everybody their whole day, and then Florida was just a done. It just everything was dead. Every business was shut. So it's like I hit that wall of
Well,
just
there's
okay.
always tomorrow morning.
Yeah, there's always tomorrow morning.
Yep, just start
Yep.
over in the morning. Take the
Yep.
day and go, fuck. All right. I wasted the day today. What did I learn?
Yep. I learned that with roofing in Texas, like, well, here they just keep dicking you around. There's the problem. That's what I learned yesterday.
Then you're not talking to the right people and just keep making phone calls because there's a shit ton of roofers in Texas.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But this was a polyurea roof. That's where I had a harder time finding.
So
That was
what
the
you do is you
challenge.
talk to a roofer and you say, "Hey, have you?" The first question out of your mouth should have been, "Have you ever heard of a polyurea roof?" Okay. And if he says no, he says, "Well, who in town do you think would have heard of something like that?
Right.
What's his name? What's his phone number? When I call him, can I tell him that you told me to call him?" That's when you call the second guy and you go, "Hey, I don't know, how much you're paying Joe over at this other roofing company, but he says you're the best in town and you might know what a polyurea roof is."
Right. Yeah, it's learning. It's that whole you've got this. You've been doing this for so long. It's just rolls out. That's where I'm trying to rewire myself, but yet not be in my head at the same time. That's my challenge right now.
It takes practice, you know,
Yep.
and
Oh
and it's
yeah.
okay if you fuck up. There's tons more people that can be called.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And really, how you learn is you learn in the fuck ups, you know? Well, I screwed that conversation up. Let's go try again. But what did I
Yep.
learn? And let's practice again. And if you ever want to call me and role play, I love role playing, as you can tell.
Yep.
Because I can hear
Right.
it. When I hear something that I don't like, I can tell you here's a better way to say that will get you closer to what you want.
Right. Okay. Done. I will. Yeah. So I'm gonna practice these because I've got to give this guy in Louisiana a call back and follow up on this one. So I probably caught him. He's probably got to get a bid from his supplier.
All right? The guy has to get a bid from his supplier. Hey, listen, is that a 5 minute operation? Like, do you guys talk on the phone all the time? Or is that something that takes an hour?
Yep. And when can I call back?
Okay, so if I
Versus
don't hear
waiting
back
for
from
him to
you
call.
within an hour, I should be calling you back?
Yeah. There it is. That's the conversation I'm gonna have as soon as I call him. Yep.
I mean, it's real simple.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And the time differences don't help either. That's poor. That's kind of a challenge too. It's just trying
I
to.
don't consider that a challenge at all. To me, time differences is a zero sum nothing, and I don't even want to ever hear that from you ever again.
Time. Okay. Oh, that's fine.
Get
That
up an
that'll.
hour early, go to bed an hour late. You can hit any fucking time zone you want in the United
Yep.
States. That's that's a bullshit excuse.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just getting. I think that's my biggest thing is I'm not. I'm letting them get off the phone, and that's where it's like, hey, and it's just they literally. Oh no, we don't this. Click. Okay. I guess that wasn't the guy. So yeah.
Then you
That's
call him
that's
back and you go, "I'm sorry. Clearly, you're not interested in this type of work. Do you have a buddy or something or somebody in town who might be interested in this?"
and that's what I usually follow up with. And then that was the conversation with the guy about the handrails. He's like, he says, I know everybody in this area, and there's nothing out there at
Great,
all.
then move the fuck on.
And
That
that's
was a
where
dead
I
end.
have to,
There's no
yeah,
oil in the bottom of that one. So move
yeah.
on.
So what if there was nothing? I mean, just hypothetical on something like that. You bid just to the moon, just to even get it,
Probably don't even
or
bid it. Probably just set it aside and see if anybody got it and what it went for. And then go, well, fuck you guys. Good luck.
and let
On
somebody
the other
else.
hand, maybe the
Let that,
guy you were talking to is Sam registered. He's going to bid the job anyway and is, getting you to get your nose out of this fucking thing.
but then I can at least use that as a watch this job and see what actually happens with it versus
Or
actually
maybe just never go back to that particular area for that type of work. And okay,
right.
that guy's figured it all out. Might as well move on. No money there.
How did you track that kind of stuff of where to, where not to when you were doing this?
Memory. So every year,
Oh,
and really, this is my dad. Now, I had a conversation with another one of my clients yesterday, who knows my dad quite well over the years, and he said, I don't mean this negatively, but your dad is so sadistic about this stuff. And I burst out laughing. I said, I can see how somebody might say the word sadistic about my dad. I said, but tell me what you mean by that. He says, it seems like your dad wants to put himself in the absolute worst situation imaginable because he's probably the only guy in the world who can figure it all out and get out of the situation. And he just seems to do that over and over and over and over again. And I again burst out laughing because that's quite an accurate description of my dad. In fact, I talked to my dad last night and told him about that. He goes, sadistic, huh? I go, hey, it wasn't my word, it was his. Um, and so anyway, I forgot why I was telling that, but oh, I forgot why I was telling that, but yeah, you just get yourself in situations and you just keep working your way out of them. I mean, it's just over and over and over again.
so with that, um, how do you? Okay, so there's sometimes like when it's okay. I guess that's just learning. I just have to take notes so I can remember stuff. So because this is all a new pathway anyway.
Well, like I said, I recorded this. I'm gonna send you a copy of it in Telegram, and you can revisit it.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Have an uneventful day, man.
All right, sounds good. Later.
All right, bye.
Bye.